My fellow Americans, this is your fellow American on the Help Me Make Sense of This broadcast. My fellow Americans, in this country, we have a saying amongst us that often life imitates art. And your fellow American has stumbled upon a bit of historical art that truly emulates and imitates and is speaking to the current situation we find ourselves at right here in the good old USA. The former artist known as Prince, known as the symbol, known as the guy who wrote slave on his cheek, denoting his belief that he was no more than a slave of corporate America. This gentleman came out with a song in 1981, long before a lot of my fellow Americans listening to this broadcast were even born. The name of the song was Sexuality. Now, by the name of the song and by the lyrics of the song, you would think he's talking a great deal about illicit sex. And my fellow Americans, if you're completely tone deaf, that's what you get out of it. But if you listen with your inner ear, he was describing a situation that needed to be addressed through organization and resistance. As he put it in the song, he said, our world has been overrun by tourists with 89 flowers on their backs. Now, what does that mean, my fellow American? Well, let me give you my analysis of that bit of lyrical genius. The tourists he's referring to are the powers that should not be. And the 89 flowers on their back denotes that they always talk to you about peace and give you something sweet to smell and something pretty to look at while they empty your pockets. What the powers that should not be, the king, the self-appointed king and his court gesture and his court of buffoons are up to now is attacking the very backbone of your security as a society. What they want you to believe is that your social security, which my fellow American and your fellow American have paid into all of our working lives, is somehow an entitlement. It's like the 5-year-old going to their parents for their weekly allowance, which, in the words of Smokey from the first Friday movie, you didn't put in on this, man. Going to their parents and asking for money because they're entitled to it somehow. And their parents seeing this truculent 5-year-old say, no, give me a full time out. You don't deserve anything. You're starting to feel entitled to this. You don't deserve it. Do you notice, my fellow American, that that's the kind of language they use when talking about any money that any American, their fellow American, gets from the federal government? They talk about, we not deserving that money. Hold on, as Smokey said, we did put in on this, man. Myself and you too, my fellow American, we've all contributed, all of us who have jobs and worked. We have all contributed to our social security. And let me be frank with you. No one gets rich who's on social security. And if that's all the money you have and once you retire, my fellow American, you are on existence money. That's existence money. That's money to keep you from being homeless and hungry. That's all it is. No one's going on vacation on full Social Security. No one's doing anything. If that's all the money you got, You are eating and you have a place to stay. That's all it can do. And it barely does that. But they want to take that away from you as well. So they can give people who don't deserve a tax break a tax break. Our country's been overrun by tourists. But we're going to have to send the tourists packing. Stay together and work together. And in the words of the artist formerly known as Prince in the song Sexuality, leaders stand up, organize. Take care, my fellow American. Be blessed and believe in your fellow American.